This week's blogcast is about bravery, perseverance, and never giving up on your dreams. It's a story about a girl named Aurora who learns to ski and absolutely loves it and strives to become better, even when it's tough. Skiing is her dream, and she has to go through lots of ups and downs just like going up and down a ski slope. Sometimes she gets scared or falls, but she doesn't give up. With the help of her family, she keeps going and gets even better at skiing. It's really a story of determination, resilience, and the support that fuels the pursuit of dreams. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon, and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor podcast. I'm a certified career coach and grief recovery specialist. I love to help ambitious, driven people feel confident, empowered, and excited after experiencing a career setback. Whether it's from feeling stuck in a tough period or frustration from slow progress, I offer up tools and resources to revamp your path to career success. So any endeavor in life, including career goals, requires assessment and support. So I'm sharing this story today about my youngest daughter, Aurora, whose recent experience showcases the highs and lows of pursuing any dream. And honestly, it's also a chance for me to process what it took for me to support her dream and my takeaways. So Aurora experienced skiing for the first time about 18 months ago. And although she was late to the sport being 14 years old, she took to it like a duck to water and was determined to become the best skier she could possibly be. Her passion thrilled me, and it also made me slightly nauseous. I was delighted that she found something that she loved and wanted to commit to. It reminded me of my passion for story and how as a teenager, I would read anything I could get my hands on. I watched a lot of television and I auditioned for every play and musical. So the nauseous part of Aurora's dream for me is that I hate the cold. The idea of being someplace cold for months at a time makes my whole body tighten and cringe. But what are you going to do when someone you love loves something you don't love? You figure it out. My husband Chuck and I did a lot of research on how to keep Aurora in school in Southern California, where we live, while still being able to ski. We needed a place we could drive that wasn't too far, but also had great conditions and a structured program for her to learn. A friend of Chuck's suggested Mammoth, which is in the California Sierra Nevada mountains, which has a top rated ski team. So we visited last summer, met with the head coach and program coordinator, strolled around the town, took in a hike, and we're in. We've now ended our first season with this Mammoth team, and Aurora received an honor for Most Improved, which is spot on because of the depth of her commitment, discipline, focus, and resilience. You can't get Most Improved by not investing oneself wholeheartedly, which she did, which we honestly all did as a family. It takes a village is no joke. So Aurora essentially was working 7 days a week over 5 months, going to school every weekday, arriving in Mammoth late on Friday nights, on the slopes by 8:30 a.m. Saturday morning, skiing all day, and then again on Sunday, and then driving back to Los Angeles Sunday night, arriving home late to unpack and then get ready for school the next day. She and we did this from mid-November through mid-April. At one point in the season, Aurora didn't feel she was improving as much as she wanted. She asked for a private lesson with one of the coaches. Now, it's fairly pricey, and I was reluctant for cash flow reasons, but I also wanted to honor her commitment to her sport. So we agreed to split the cost. Her share was $130, which is a big chunk of her $826 in savings. I'm really proud of the investment that she made in herself. Stating the obvious, skiing is a risky and potentially dangerous sport, and Aurora had a few altercations. One day, I got an unexpected call from her head coach, which scared me like I'd never been scared before. He was breathless and said, "I'm sorry, I'm looking for your husband. Aurora's had a fall." I was home in Los Angeles that weekend, taking care of the dogs, guinea pigs, and Bunny, and that was one of our challenges. We have so many animals that someone always has to be at home, which meant that we as a family, we were apart almost every single weekend during the season. So on the weekend of Aurora's big crash, Chuck was with her in Mammoth. I gave the coach Chuck's number and hung up, understanding that whatever was happening was time sensitive. But as soon as the line went dead, I realized he never said, "Aurora is okay." Knowing that Chuck would be dealing with the situation, I texted him rather than called to ask him to let me know as soon as possible what was going on. And then that's when the fear kicked in. I didn't know what happened, when I would find out, and what would be needed. My mind went to all of the horrible places. She broke a bone, she broke an arm, she broke a leg, she hit her head, she's unconscious, she's paralyzed. And it wasn't like I was coming up with ridiculous scenarios. I couldn't help but remember what happened to Sonny Bono and Natasha Richardson. 20 minutes went by, crickets. I was getting really panicky. So I called my older sister, Teresa, who's always taking care of me, to help center myself. Her voice is calming and soothing. I don't remember what we spoke about. I just remember that she helped me feel grounded so that if I needed to drive to Mammoth or arrange for medical care, I would be able to do so. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore, and I called Chuck. Ski Patrol had taken Aurora off the mountain on a toboggan. They had arrived at patrol quarters and were finishing up a physical exam. Aurora would be okay, but they were being appropriately cautious and encouraged us to take her to a doctor. I was able to breathe again. I cried with relief and texted my sister that Aurora did not have any serious injuries. The last day of the ski season was on Sunday, April 21st. Now, I couldn't help myself, and I crunched some numbers that we racked up over the last several months. So, 13,020 miles. That equals 21 round trips from Los Angeles to Mammoth. A total of 50 nights in Mammoth, 42 large fries from McDonald's, 15 homemade beef stews for dinner on the road, 16 stays at the Tamarack Lodge, 5 stays at the Juniper Hotel, 3 trips to the orthopedic doctor, 2 concussions, 1 trip to the ER, 1 set of fractured ribs. When I look at Aurora, I see how she is coming into her own. She's terrified and exhilarated. She's shy and bold. She's a rookie and mentors the younger kids. She holds nothing back and is acutely aware of her learning curve. She's taken literal body blows and gotten right back on the slopes. I'm really proud of her and how we've all come together as a family to support each other. Chuck and I took turns driving Aurora up to Mammoth, with him doing the bulk of the trips because I was frequently out of town teaching at Northwestern University. Our eldest daughter, Mitzi, would take care of the animals in the house while we weren't there and also do the food shopping. It was amazing to come home late on Sundays with the fridge and pantry stocked for the week. Now, here's where I share a tool, and it's one that I've talked about before, but it's so relevant. I'm a big believer in assessment and evaluation. As much as possible, I like to do like a debrief after a big Zoom meeting, an event, or a life-changing experience. Assessment requires looking at what happened and one's performance without judgment. It also requires acknowledging what worked as much as what didn't work. My assessment from the last 6 months. First off, it was really, really hard to be apart almost every single weekend. Chuck and Aurora in Mammoth, me in Chicago, Mitzi in Los Angeles. It was important that we said ouch so we could course correct and tend to any wounds, like taking 2 Mammoth trips with me, Chuck, and Aurora to take the sting out of being apart so much. We couldn't all go together every weekend, but we could make accommodations for a few. Second, we adapted quickly and with grace, which is part of everyone's natural resilience. And so we found a routine on Thursday nights that worked better for us than waking up early on Friday to get everything together. Mitzi would make pasta for Aurora's weekend lunches. I would pack the cooler in Aurora's suitcase. Chuck would make beef stew for Saturday night dinner. And Aurora would do as much of her homework as possible. Another one of my takeaways is witnessing another human being blossoming into their potential is deeply gratifying, inspiring, and humbling. So whatever sacrifices, and I put that into quotes, had a very high rate of return. And as difficult as it was at times, I would not change a thing. And then we really needed each other. We could have not done this solo. I feel like the ski season was a definition of fulfillment. We were all keenly aware of the why and what of what we were doing and how we were honoring our values. And while we had so many victories and highs, there were also hard and scary lows. My biggest takeaway was how important it was that we stay in communication with the victories, fears, bumps, bruises, and the mundane. I came to love and rely on our family text chain. So how does this relate to career and grief? It's a gigantic metaphor, of course. We get ignited by something. We convince ourselves we can do it, and then we study and we earn our 10,000 hours. We say no to relationships, hobbies, and rest in order to make a go of a career in our field of passion. Along the way, we stumble and trip. Sometimes we faceplant. Frequently, we need outside support to assess the damage and help us get back on our feet. We might question if we made the right choice, but at the same time, we can't envision a life without the thing we are passionate about. A career can be fulfilling if you know your why and how it is that you're honoring your values. If it's not fulfilling, you may be living someone else's dream. A career naturally has peaks and valleys. You are bound to fall and get hurt. Say ouch and then assess what needs to be course corrected. It could be a minor adjustment like learning a new skill, or it could be a move to a new company that is culturally aligned with what's important to you. A career does not succeed by itself. You need your village. In wrapping up Aurora's ski season saga, I'm reminded of the power of commitment, resilience, and support. Whether it's hitting the slopes or pursuing career goals, the journey is rarely a smooth ride. It's about embracing the highs and navigating the lows, all while staying true to our passions and values and purpose. Aurora's dedication to skiing, despite the challenges, mirrors the pursuit of any dream. It's about putting in time, facing setbacks, and leaning on our village for guidance and encouragement. So whether you're carving through snow or carving out your career path, remember, take time to assess what's working and not working, course correct as needed, and ask for and receive the support of loved ones. So that's it for today. Head over to Moonshot Mentor on Substack.com for journal questions to help you understand what's needed to achieve your goals. You can also visit me at moonshotmentor.com, where you can find links to all of my social and how to work with me. A very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. If you enjoy what you hear, I would really appreciate if you could share this work and also subscribe to my blogcast. It would help me achieve my moonshot of 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.